Right now we are getting in a breaking input regarding Prime Minister's visit, and he is in a temple. Visuals on your screen right now. He is visiting the Maha Bodhi temple. Visuals on your screens. A major cultural push over there by the Prime Minister. This goes beyond the infra boost that we were talking about. Siddhant Mishra continues to be with me on the broadcast. Siddhant, what is the latest you're picking up on this? This seems like a major cultural boost to both the nations.
Well, PM Modi's visit to Anuradhapura will bring global attention to this sacred city, which is a cornerstone of Sri Lanka's Buddhist heritage. This is established in the 4th century. It served as the first capital of Sri Lanka for over 1,000 years. It is a home to some of the most significant Buddhist monuments, including the Jaya Maha Bodhi tree, believed to be the oldest living tree with recorded history. This sacred tree is said to have grown from a cutting of the original Bodhi tree in India, under which Gautam Buddha attained enlightenment over 2,500 years ago. It is worshipped as a symbol of spiritual awakening and national pride by Sri Lanka's strong Buddhist population. Additionally, the city also has a grand stupas. The Prime Minister's visit will also include the inauguration of Indian government-supported railway projects, enhancing connectivity between heritage city of Jaffna and Kandy. Beyond the cultural aspect, PM Modi's visit to Anuradhapura highlights India's commitment to Sri Lanka's development. India has been a key country in helping Sri Lanka's economy, especially in the aftermath of its financial crisis. The discussions during the visit are expected to have focused on economic aid, infrastructure development, and furthering bilateral ties. The historical link between India and Sri Lanka through Buddhism is a bridge of peace and cooperation. And Prime Minister Modi's visit to Anuradhapura will be a powerful gesture. His visit is not purely diplomatic. It is a celebration of the common heritage of Sri Lanka and India. As the world turns its attention to Anuradhapura, millions are inspired by its rich history as a spiritual and cultural landmark. Other than this, talking overall about Prime Minister Modi's diplomacy, foreign policy in the last 1 decade, then Buddhism holds a very important component in that. When India engages with the Southeast Asian countries, with the Buddhist countries, perhaps Prime Minister uses diplomatic routes and other routes to engage with those countries, with the outreach to the Buddhist community. In fact, last year, India has sent Buddhist relics to Gautam Buddha's relics to Thailand. This year, in Sri Lanka, yesterday, Prime Minister announced that the Gautam Buddha's relics will also be sent to Sri Lanka. Other than this, Prime Minister Modi do make a point to visit to Buddhist monasteries, religious sites whenever he is in the Buddhist countries or country with Buddhist population. Perhaps it holds a very important place in India's foreign policy.
Right, absolutely. His visit to the Jaya Shri Maha Bodhi temple is definitely of a huge importance to India's political landscape. And apart from all the major infrastructure boosts, the new Pambam railway bridge that he's going to inaugurate in a short while from now, this is something that we are getting for you right now. Siddhant, what else do we have on cards today? What does the itinerary look like?
This is the last leg of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Sri Lanka. In fact, he is at a Maha Bodhi temple, and after which, and he's accompanied by President Dissanayake. In fact, there is a special bonhomie which is developing between the two leaders, or rather has developed between the two leaders, because kind of the strong, powerful imagery that we received from Colombo yesterday at the time of guard of honor given to Prime Minister Modi. Then the highest honor of the land was bestowed upon Prime Minister Modi. And in fact, talking about the takeaways, defense cooperation, a milestone between the two countries. Then cooperation in energy sector. India is building energy hub in Sri Lanka with the help of UAE. Then digital solutions. Then the projects that have been inaugurated. There have been a solar power project in groundbreaking ceremony virtually took place yesterday. yesterday. Then there are 2 other projects which was inaugurated. Today, Prime Minister will inaugurate the railway project which will connect Jaffna to Kandy. So perhaps it talks about the importance Prime Minister Modi attaches to India-Sri Lanka relationship. And in fact, in last 1 decade, this relationship has touched new heights. When Sri Lanka needed India the most, India stood with Sri Lanka shoulder to shoulder. India at that point in time had given assistance of $4 billion, perhaps more than what IMF offered to Sri Lanka. It shows that how important Sri Lanka is for India. And other than this, there is also a cultural linkage between the 2 countries. Let's not forget that. There's an old cultural linkage between the 2 countries. And in fact, Sri Lanka also holds a very important place in India's Indo-Pacific strategy. So yesterday at a joint statement, in fact, Prime Minister announced 10,000 homes for the Tamil community. Prime Minister, in fact, also met the leaders from the Tamil community. Prime Minister also touched upon the issue of fishermen in Sri Lanka. Prime Minister, is today in Anuradhapura along with President Dissanayake. In fact, a short while back, Prime Minister, posted a photograph of him and President Dissanayake in the same car. Perhaps again signifies the bonding between the 2 leaders. In fact, a short while back, I was speaking to the Deputy Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka. In fact, he gave an extensive interview to us on Prime Minister Modi's visit. And he spoke about how there were a lot of doubts when President Dissanayake came to power that what would be the future of India-Sri Lanka relationship, because largely he was seen as China's man in Sri Lanka in the run-up to the elections. But he took everyone by surprise by taking a first state visit to India. He visited India first, and his first guest is Prime Minister Modi. Perhaps again signifies that, India and Sri Lanka, the kind of importance both countries attach to this relationship, both leaders attach to this relationship. In fact, the Deputy Foreign Minister, while I was speaking to him, also told me that there is a special, genuine person-to-person relationship between the 2 leaders, since both leaders come from a very humble background and they became the leaders of their country. So indeed, there is a personal rapport between the 2 leaders. In fact, there was a dinner which was hosted in Prime Minister Modi's honor yesterday by President Dissanayake. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much for bringing us those inputs, in fact, breaking it down for us.
The last hour. Anything can happen between the bells. But what happens during the last hour is what matters the most. The biggest market swings. A close-up look at what's driving them and how the investors are reacting. Watch the most seasoned market mavens guide you through the most important hour of the trading day. NSE Closing Bell. At these times, only on CNBC-TV18 and CNBC-TV18.com.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV 18 on all of our digital platforms.